All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. My name is Aaron. Second half of this video, we're going over important pieces of cryptocurrency news such as Bitcoin's Lightning Network. I'm going to clue you in as to how the SEC is dealing with altcoin projects. This is information that you need to know if you're an altcoin investor. I want to talk to you on what's the latest news happening in DeFi. Let me just tell you something. Ethereum is continuing to smash records. DeFi hype seems like it's just getting started as the amount of money locked up in DeFi edging all-time highs. But I don't want to start with that information today. What I want to start with is my personal strategy, the point of view I'm coming from when I make content on this channel, because we've had so many new people come into the space recently and so many new people subscribe to our channel. I want to reaffirm where we're coming from when we make content and my personal point of view when it comes to investing in this space. And we'll start this off. I want to ask you the question, is your Bitcoin stack increasing? I hope it is, because where I come from when I make content is, I'm a huge Bitcoin fundamentalist. I'm a Bitcoiner, but I want to know about the whole market. I use altcoins to stack more Bitcoin. It is a fact that just looking at history, 99% of altcoin projects will trend towards zero versus Bitcoin. At least that's what history shows. And that's because every other coin is trying to mimic Bitcoin's wealth effect. It's really only Bitcoin that has, increases year after year. I'm not saying it's only going to be Bitcoin, especially this cycle. This cycle isn't going to be only Bitcoin. But you don't want to get stuck holding back. So let me run through a few different metrics when it comes to Bitcoin. And overall, what I want you to stay tuned for is this tweet thread right here. Incredibly important information by Willy Woo. Guys, this Bitcoin bull market just getting started. We're not going to stay at these levels forever because of stuff like this. By the way, guys, like the video, support the channel, coming at you on a weekend, trying to provide perspective. Bitcoin deposits at major exchanges is still falling. This is sitting at its lowest levels since November of 2018. This could lead to a lower selling pressure going forward as fewer hodlers are preparing to sell and realize profit. And so we're seeing all this Bitcoin flow out of exchanges. Incredibly bullish. When we start seeing money, Bitcoin flowing onto exchanges, that means people are looking to sell, but people aren't looking to sell at a Bitcoin price of $11,000. Hey, how about this? New all-time high daily volume on Bakkt. Bakkt's physically delivered Bitcoin's futures have without a doubt seen a trend shift in trading activity after the spike in late July. So we haven't talked about Bakkt that much on the channel. In my opinion, Bakkt is inconsequential to Bitcoin. However, the fact that Bakkt exists and the fact that its volume is trending up is bullish. Bitcoin has been profitable 96% of the time. Like I said, every other coin is trying to mimic Bitcoin's wealth effect. In my opinion, I treat the other coins like almost like tech stocks because they have CEOs, they have companies. Bitcoin is this decentralized thing that's different. As I said, biggest network effect. It is hard money, and although stuff like DeFi is very interesting to me, Ethereum, all this stuff, the trends in the market is very interesting, but don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Are you increasing your Bitcoin stack? And with that being said, I want to talk about something that, of course, we reported at the time and as the story developed, but the bigger picture here needs to be talked about. I'm talking, of course, about MicroStrategy's CEO, Michael Saylor. This is this happy man right here. As you already know, MicroStrategy's bought another 175 million Bitcoin, upping its Bitcoin holdings to 425 million. There's a lot of reasons that, it's obvious if you look into Bitcoin that its future, it's going to be at a price level above $11,000. Bitcoin, $11,000, this red dot right here, it should be at $100,000 according to stock to flow, over $1 million in less than 10 years. And I know this is hard to believe, but if you put the stock to flow, if you do that for gold or silver or any commodity that has a supply flow, it it forecasts accurate price information. So it's really not that big of a stretch to think of a $100,000 Bitcoin. Now, I liked what Willy Woo, his point of view when it comes to the MicroStrategies guy. Check this out. This was part of a larger tweet storm. As a large investor, MicroStrategy is not interested in smart contracts, cheaper fees, or DeFi. Now, I have showed you hedge funds investors do have positions in other coins, but MicroStrategy is only interested in Bitcoin. The other projects are great experiments, but as the CEO of MicroStrategy said, I want to hear that you're going to defend this network to death against somebody who's going to break it or compromise it in any shape or form. And that is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is hard money. It's been around 11 years, has the biggest network effect. And with money, you want to hear that the network is going to be defended to death against anybody who tries to compromise it. And the only thing you can say that about is Bitcoin. And that's why he's going all his extra money into Bitcoin. By the way, them buying Bitcoin dampened the price volatility, as in less, because they bought spot, they bought physical Bitcoin, less chance we see a Bitcoin drop. You can expect more of this in the future if companies allocate into Bitcoin, i.e. Bitcoin spot volume will take precedent over derivative speculation dominance that we have right now. I'm going to like this because I want to support this guy. MicroStrategy, a nimble, publicly listed company, took them 6 months to approve and complete their Bitcoin deployment. The average publicly listed company takes 9 to 12 months for this process. You don't think we're going to see tons of companies like MicroStrategies put some of their cash reserves into Bitcoin? Of course. Start your timers. 2021 will be interesting. All companies don't have to get into Bitcoin. In fact, only few companies have to do it for, the price to go up. Think about this. Final note, between Twitter and Square, Jack oversees a cash reserve, of 10 billion that's inflating away. He only has one word in his Twitter profile, and that's Bitcoin. So Jack's not the only one who makes the decisions for his companies, so that's probably why he hasn't already. But you better believe that it's going to happen in the future, where we see billions and billions of cash reserves flow into Bitcoin. 2021 is going to be interesting. So let's continue down that thread. What are the odds that other cash-rich companies like Google, Apple, Microsoft will get serious about Bitcoin? Or what are the chances they will not get serious about Bitcoin at the next shareholders meeting, or even get sued for breaching their fiduciary obligation for not buying Bitcoin and letting all that cash melt away? Bitcoin can hardly stay below 10,000. It's edging up right now. It's going to be irresponsible if companies don't commit some of their extra capital into Bitcoin, because they'll be losing money for their company and shareholders. By the way, here's a question for you. Why did 425 million Bitcoin buy order not move the price of Bitcoin up? Because they bought carefully. Thousands of small, incognito algo orders over a period of weeks. The key thing is that 425 million is transferred from the weak hands, people who are getting bored at Bitcoin at 11,000, to strong hands, the people who can look towards a long-term investment, HODL, reduce future sell pressure. Well, unfortunately, we're not going to have time to get to these 3 stories that I plugged at the beginning. Perhaps we'll get to them tomorrow or the next day. But did you realize that? Did you realize that when this publicly traded on the NASDAQ company, when the CEO was purchasing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, he did it on the market in small orders, hoping not to move the price with slippage. He got lucky with the 1% downward spike. But that's interesting. That's what you're doing, right? That's what I'm doing. How many whales are doing this? How many companies like this are doing this? So anyway, guys, I guess I just wanted to reaffirm my personal strategy. The goal for me is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. It seems to me, based on my 3 years plus of research, that Bitcoin has legs to be a decades-long investment. And possibly one Satoshi, given enough time, will be worth more than any altcoin, given enough time. Now, what differentiates us from a lot of other people who share the same opinion, because let's be honest, a lot of people who share that opinion have like only Bitcoin channels, right? I don't want to miss out on trends like this one. And I don't think I will, but that's not to say that I'm taking out a position in every single altcoin. If I can get one altcoin to 3x or 10x or 500x, it's definitely possible. I'm putting that money into Bitcoin, and I expect my Bitcoin to 10x minimum over time. Hopefully I get 100x's in altcoins if I decide I want to take on that risk, but I put all that money back into Bitcoin because for me, it just seems like Bitcoin is such a sure thing at this point. And other coins will do well, in between now and then, but you don't want to get stuck holding bags, in my opinion. So I hope that makes sense. I hope I was able to kind of give you some of my thoughts on, basically my point of view as I make this content, Let me know what you think below. Don't copy my strategy. Use our channel as a starting off point. Make your own decisions. It's going to be a great year. I'll see you tomorrow.